Hi, and welcome to episode 11 of the Flying Yak podcast. Today is Thursday, August 11th, 2016. I'm your host, Chantal Belil, and you can find me on Instagram at _flying_yak. This week, I'm doing the last sprint for Stash Dash, by which I mean I'm just casting on stuff. I still have a lot of whips that I haven't finished, and I decided to do the Ravelinics. So there's an event going on Ravelry where you just you try to knit something Olympian during the Olympics. So that's what I've been doing, working on that. Also watching a ton of the Olympics. I've mostly been watching gymnastics and swimming. That's where my heart lies. I love watching people that are better than me do stuff. I'm really excited for athletics, like the running part. That's coming up. That hasn't started yet, as far as I know. Yeah, I'm a person who watches the Olympics. I like watching like the round robins that take like 6 hours. The early stages stuff, and I love watching a world record be broken is like my favorite thing. It's just like this person is the best person to ever do this ever in the history of ever. They're just the best at swimming in a certain style for a certain distance in the world. I think that's rad. So I don't have any whips this week. Also, it's been 6 days since my last recording. I'm leaving for Ottawa tomorrow morning to visit my mother, so I don't really have time to do another recording anytime soon, and I'll still be there next weekend, so I just decided that today is the day. I'm wearing my Doodler by Stephen West. I recently finished it, and it is the comfiest, so I wear it a lot. It's very summery colors, so I love it. Yeah, let's get started. I wrote in my show notes that I had my creamy yellow brownie socks, and I did work on them this week. I think I got done. I'm not even at the heel flap yet, so I just forgot to bring them upstairs. I got all out of work. Yeah, that's it. That's that. That's the socks. I haven't been doing much sock knitting. I think I finished a bunch of socks and then I lost interest, so it's okay. I have a lot of mindless knitting right now, so I don't require socks. Socks are for when I'm doing a lot of complicated knitting. So this is my Bridgewater by Jared Flood. It's a common. It's much bigger than it was last week. I'm working it out of 2 colors of Manos still Uruguay. It's this one and this little bugger. This one is called Ciruela. This one's called Rosa. This one means plum and rose. So they go really well together. I think it's going to be lovely. The shawl is worked up, increase like this, increasing either side, and then you close up, and then you pick up along the edges of the diamond, and you work lace. So I'm going to do the lace in the pink. And last week I was talking about maybe splitting it in half color-wise, but I come to the decision that I used 30 grams. I'm just past the halfway point. So where this itty bitty stitch marker is the halfway point. I haven't started decreasing though. I've continued increasing, because I've decided I'm going to use all of this skein of yarn. I'm just going to make it 50 grams per half, or 45 just to play it safe. I have 71 grams left when I was at the actual halfway point, and I was a little sad because I know the lace will take more than 1 skein, so I decided if I'm going to buy a second skein of this one anyways, I might as well get my money's worth and really work on that lace. So I'm just going to make the middle bigger. I really like a really big shawl, so it should be nice. I would really enjoy that. Look at how pretty this. I love this color. And I like it that it'll be on the edge, so it'll be next to my skin. I like lighter colors next to my skin. I feel like dark colors kind of wash me out. This is turning out a lot more red than it is. I haven't switched recording spots this week just because I haven't switched recording spots. It happens. I'll do it for next week's episode, I think. That's half of the knitting I've done this week. I don't have that many whips. I usually have super duper whips, but this is the other half. Look at it. It's the Pool and Conquer by Martina Behm. It is out of Log House Cottage. I bought it on Etsy. It's a local to me dyer. I think she's based in Ottawa. It's the MCN 2-ply lace, 525 yards, and it's at 100 grams. And I finally weighed the yarn, and it's actually 120 grams of skein, which is amazing. Like, I got 20 free grams, or like 60 free grams, because I got 3 skeins, but that's an extra 60 grams of knitting. It's like 300 extra yards I need to knit, because it's the shawl that you knit until you run out of yarn, and I could have leftovers, but these colors are so, like, nauseating that I don't think I want 2 articles of clothing in these colors. But, this is the Pool and Conquer by Martina Behm. So you start off working a little garter triangle, because it's a Martina Behm pattern. There's not a single purl stitch, which I'm all about. And then once the triangle is the length of however many repeats of yarn that you want. So I did 2 repeats of the color sequence in the yarn. So if you have it helps if you have the yarn in the skein. So beforehand, you measure it, and let's say like up here is 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So you'll do like, as soon as you've reached a whole loop of 1 through 4, and you're back at 1, you'll close up the circle so that it lines up, so that every time you knit through all 4, and then all 4, and then all 4. Or you can do like a double circle, so like this big, and it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it lines up again. So I did that. So it double stacks. So they just like stack up on top of each other. As you can see, yes, all my colors are stacking up. In the pattern, she uses she uses wool miza lace, which I just can't. I tried to catch an update for like weeks, and I set alarms, and I missed it. So I settled. Full disclosure, I settled. And I went with this, which has much shorter color repeats, or like the color width. Like hers are all like 20 stitches-ish, and mine can be down to like 3 stitches. In the yellow, it's really skinny, but I think the blue keeps it consistent. I'm gonna sneeze. I can't tell. Sorry. But, yeah, this is how much I have left of my first skein. It's never ending. I wound it into a ball once it was like that floppy mess that cakes turn into if you turn them into center bowls. But it's going. It's a going. It's super pretty. I'm very pleased with it. I'm kind of worried for when I add the second skein, because it might not line up perfectly, but I can just like fudge it around. As you can see, some places it's not as perfectly lined up, but I don't really care. It makes it very tie-dye-y, which I enjoy. The problem with this one is it's pretty much like 1,800 yards of stocking knit in a tube. There's nothing. No interest, except you have to be looking and adjust your tension so the colors line up. So it's like mindless, but I need to pay attention, which is the worst kind of pattern. The only reason I haven't set this aside is because it's my Ravel Linux, and because it's so much yardage for Stash Dash. Yeah, if you don't know what Stash Dash is, it's the Knit Girl event where you knit through your entire stash in the summer, or you make a dent in your stash in the summer. I made a huge dent in my stash by giving like half of it away, because I moved, which was, give away your stash, just do it. Give away like a pound of stash, and it's just like life-changing. I gave away like probably like 20 pounds of stash. It was very, very nice. But yeah, this is a third of the length, and then I'm gonna add the next skein. I have a 5-hour drive tomorrow to visit my mama, so I'm hoping to get maybe like half of this one done. That might be over hoping. But I'm going to just listen to podcasts so I can look at my hands the whole time. So it's going to be quick. But yeah, I want to get it done. Stash Dash finishes on the 21st, so I have 10 days left. Which means I have 200 grams. It means I need to knit about 20 grams a day in just this. I also want to finish the middle of the bridgewater. So if I have 250 grams over 10 days, 250 grams, 10 days, 25 grams a day. At this yardage is like so much math. 200 meters a day, I want to say. That sounds about right. I could do that if I'm a very consistent knitter. Yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed. I'm just gonna knit all I can. I'm just going to the cottage and I'm just gonna hang out with my mom. So it should, and I'm getting coffee with people, which means I can knit the whole time without worrying too much. I'm really enjoying this. I wasn't sure when the pooling started. I like the yarn so much in the garter stitch. This garter is like fantastic. And then in the pooling, I was like, wah. After like an inch of it in the pooling, I just was not happy with it. And I almost went back to just like, I'll just make a garter triangle. It'll be adorable. I had gotten tired of it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it now that it's a little bit longer. And if I can put it on. It's a tube. I think my screen just got less bright. There we go. I'm gonna drop some stitches just because I'm knitting so loosely. Oh, I have a crown. I was wearing it earlier today because I was the queen of pickles. It's a pickling day, but yeah, you just like wear it over your neck. I think it's a good size as it is. I don't think I've made it, wait, if I flip it, I've made it big enough to kind of go over your shoulders, which I'm not sure if that's how I would wear it. No, I'd probably just wear it like this and just let it chill. It's probably big enough, but I'm gonna add an extra, I'm gonna triple it, hopefully, because that makes life easier. Speaking of the queen of pickles, I made like 6 liters of pickles today. Woo! And I made another 3 liters last week. So if anybody wants pickles, let me know. I went to the farmer's market this morning and I bought like $15 worth of vegetables. I made a veggie-based investment and then I just pickled them all this morning. I went through like 2 liters of vinegar this morning. My house smells like a pickle factory. It's not the best. It's kind of okay. I don't mind my house smelling like pickles. I use apple cider vinegar, so it doesn't smell exactly as tart as white vinegar. White vinegar just makes me crave French fries like crazy. What else? That's all my knitting. I have great news and terrible news. Amazing, fantastic, and amazing, less fantastic. We're gonna start with the bad news. This week, I was at a coffee shop with a buddy, and I got a text message. I was like, ooh, text message. And then I opened my phone, and I was like, oh, it's a Facebook message from Mr. Stephen West. No joke. We're buddies on Facebook. It's like 0 degrees of separation in between myself and Mr. West. We get coffee. It's probably the coolest thing about me. So he was messaging me, and he was just like, hey, girlfriend, do you want to go on I'm going to be he was in Reykjavik, and he was like, hey, I'm going on a road trip. We need a driver, because we have a car, but we have nobody with a driver's license. Do you want to be in my next music video so you can drive us around and hang out and go on a road trip with us and amazing, have the best time of your life and be the talk of the town? And I was in Toronto. What? I moved like way too late. Or way too early. I should have just stayed for Mr. West. I have like serious departure. Like this is the moment where I've regretted leaving Iceland the most so far. I can't believe I missed out on him. If you don't know who Stephen West is, just Google it. He's amazing. He's awesome, fantastic. He's like, I wanted to be my best friend. Like right now we're buddies. Buddies. But I told him he should come to Toronto. And he said, yeah, he's never been to Toronto. So he's gonna come to the local yarn store. I told him he could sleep on my couch. He sent the emoji, so he's totally gonna come stay at my house. But in other news, and that's the bad news, it was heartbreaking. I probably told everybody I know, mostly the people who don't know Stephen West. Yeah, it was devastating. But in the other side of news, I got a job. So now I can buy more yarn. Not that I stopped buying yarn because I was unemployed, because that would have made a lot of sense, and I really didn't. But I got a job at the Purple Pearl here in Leslieville, which is right in the downtown of Toronto, neighborhood in the east end of Toronto. And they gave me a job in their local yarn store, so I get to, they sell them, they're like, I went to a lot of yarn stores in Toronto recently on a kind of yarn crawl / resume drop off, and they were my favorite. They're amazing. I love that store, and they totally hired me, which makes them even more fiber fantastic. I'm really pleased with it. I start when I get back from visiting my mom not this Tuesday, but the Tuesday after, and they're amazing, and they have the most wonderful knit night, and they're also a coffee shop. So I get to make coffee and sell yarn and make shop samples. I'm so looking forward to making shop samples. I'm hoping my Bridgewater turns into a shop sample secretly, because it's kind of wonky, but it's totally made from yarn from their store. So we'll see. It's super cute. Very cute. I think, no, there's some more stuff. That's not it. I was knitting. This is my first time knitting during the podcast because I was talking. I should do that at the beginning of the podcast more. I want to get this done. It's really nice. Ew. This is a really short episode because I had a really short week. I'll talk about the way I knit a little bit because I'm knitting. I'm a thrower because I grew up in America or Canada where people throw even if they speak French. And my mom learned from her mother. She probably learned from her mother, but I've never met the woman. And we're all throwers. When I was learning how to knit, my mom taught me how to throw. Not that my mom really knows how to knit. She knows how to knit. She doesn't know how to purl. That's about where she's at. She knows how to do a cast on, but it's a knitted cast on. That's where we're at. And that's okay. She's a crocheter. And usually crocheters find it easier to continental, but I am not. I do not. Continental is a struggle for me. I tried to knit continental recently, like just do it. I know how to knit continental. I don't know how to purl continental. That's the next step. But I was knitting on a sock, and my gauge was about 4 stitches to the inch on 2mm needles with fingering weight yarn. So it turned into like a sleeve. It was crazy. So I decided to not knit continental. This is a project I could have knit continental, but I wanted the speed of throwing because I'm a faster thrower. A lot of people who throw let go of the needle every stitch, but I am a pretty quick thrower. I tension my yarn in just very loosely. I'm a loose knitter. I don't need to, I don't do any wrappy bits. Some people like to wrap the yarn around their finger, and I don't really like that. I find it really slows me down. So just like this, I find that much easier. Also, this yarn has been dyeing like the top of my finger where the yarn runs blue because of how bright these colors are. But yeah, if you're a thrower, I would recommend trying to use your index. A lot of throwers let go of the needle and do a wrap motion and then grab the needle. So we'll wrap, and letting go of the needle is what like slows you down a bunch. But I would recommend just trying to get, maybe leave the needle a tiny bit, but just being in the vicinity. That makes it very easy, and then slowly making your movements smaller and smaller. I learned to knit much quicker when I started knitting on 9-inch circulars because my fingers were so close together and everything was so small that my movements became much smaller. So I find that helped me a lot. I think just changing your hand position or changing like the angle at which your needles are, like if your needles are at a very acute angle, I find I knit tighter. Like if the angle between the two needles is small versus like 180, like at 45, I find I knit quicker and tighter. I think about 80-ish degrees is where my optimal point is, but I'd recommend that. And also like changing the tilt, like from like this changes your gauge, so I'd watch out for that, and just seeing. So if you do knit in different environments, you have to like watch out for that. I think that's it for this week. I forgot to talk about stash. My bad. Sorry, that was a little rambly. I think I'm trying to make content because I pretty much didn't. I did a lot of knitting this week. I got like, not a bunch, but I did a lot. Yeah. This is Lichen and Lace. Last week I showed you this skein of Lichen and Lace, which I bought, which is in the amber colorway. I bought this one skein, and then I decided that one skein of something was useless. So I bought this skein to go with it. I bought two of them. One of them I caked. One of them I haven't caked yet. It's beautiful. This is the colorway called Pressed Flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. Super fun. And then I also bought another skein. So this one is called Poppies. I really like it. There's red in the pressed flower, and there's also like a little bit of the yellow, so I think it'll work really well all together. I'm gonna make the chevron cardigan that just came out in the newest edition of Pom Pom Quarterly. I'm just waiting for the paper copy to get to my now place of work, so I'm gonna buy it from there so I can knit that. I also bought the 2 skeins of pressed flowers and the poppy from my new place of work. I should have waited until I got hired to buy a bunch of yarn from there, but you live and you learn. I needed the yarn. It's so pretty. And they just got it in, so I needed to buy it before somebody else like jumped on the pretty yarn. Yeah, I think that's it for this week. I don't have much else to say. Thank you for tuning in. I'm hoping this episode takes a little less time to upload. It took me like 2 days to upload the last episode. Unreal. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I will not be recording next weekend. I'm going to the Twist Yarn Festival in Saint-André-Avelin, Quebec, where I'm hoping to not spend too much money. I want to buy a fleece. If there is a Cormo fleece, I'm going to buy the crap out of that. I don't think there's going to be Cormo. I hope there's going to be Cormo. Or like, maybe a pole Dorset fleece? I would really like a Dorset fleece. I would rather have a Cormo fleece. Or a Corriedale fleece. The Corriedale isn't as fun as Cormo. Yeah, I'll let you guys know what fleece I buy. I have a fleece. I left it in Iceland. It's a Romney/BFL cross. It's beautiful. It's a really nice brown. I haven't processed it yet. It's just sitting in my house. But I don't have a fleece here, so I have to buy one for my tiny apartment so it all smells like sheep. That's my musings. I'm gonna buy a new sheep. So I won't be here next week, but in 2 weeks I should have this finished, and I should have the middle part of this finished. And I should be starting this sweater. So I will let you all know how that's going down. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great week. Bye now.